What is going on YouTube? Derek here, and I'm bringing you guys another video. Today I want to talk about the Nintendo Switch and things I think Nintendo's doing very wrong. With that being said, I want to preface this by saying I absolutely love the Switch. I think it's an amazing system. In fact, it's on track to be my favorite console this generation. But it has problems. And it's more so Nintendo doing it than the actual physical problems with the Switch. But there is one physical problem with it that I will get to. But I want to talk about all the things I think that are wrong with the Switch and that what Nintendo is doing currently. So let's get started. The biggest thing I'm going to address is the online. It's a fucking disaster. It's a disaster. It is not worth $20. Here's the thing. When the Wii U and the Wii had free online, games played fine. They ran smooth. Granted, most games didn't support it, and they still don't. But the games that had online worked fine. You know, I played Mario Kart and shit on the Wii U forever. I was always pissed we didn't get a Mario Party Online, which I'm going to get to that in a second also. But, you know, it worked for what it was. And it was free. Kind of hard to complain. Well, now you can complain because it costs fucking money. So, they give you online. What do you get with online? Well, you get some free NES games. Well, I guess it's not free. You're paying for the online. But they come with it. And you can play them online. That's cool. I see the idea here. But that absolutely can't and should not be a selling point at all. I mean, most people my age don't give a fuck about that. They didn't play any of these growing up. They don't care. And keep in mind, this is coming from somebody who has not bought online for the Switch. And as it sits right now, I don't really plan on it. The couple games I want to get that require it can also be played single player. And at the moment, I don't see myself buying the online. So, yeah. They give you some free NES games. Oh, what else do you get? Well, you get cloud saves. Now, this was supposed to be amazing. Finally, Nintendo's going to have cloud saves. It'll be great. Never lose your data again. Absolutely not. Because then they said only certain titles support it. Yeah. That's a load of bullshit. PS4 has them. Xbox One has them. Pretty sure all titles support it. All of them. Switch only has certain ones. That's some bullshit too. Now they had a thing, I know, when they first announced it, that like you get cloud saves if you had your subscription, but if you ever didn't renew your subscription, the second it cancels, it's gone. They're all gone. They did backpedal on that. I think now it's 45 days or 90 days. If you reactivate your subscription, you'll still have all your saves. I think Xbox One works the same way. But I always have Xbox Live, so that is irrelevant to me. But I thought that should make a point to that. So talking about games running well, they fucking don't. I had a buddy who got Super Mario Party recently, and I'm not buying that game. And he went to play online, and it runs horribly. I don't know if it's something with the way the Switch uses internet, or if it's something physically wrong with the game servers. It's a laggy mess. And it's not just him that has this problem. I get this is your first attempt at an online service, but to be honest, that's inexcusable. It's Mario Party. It's a simple game. It's not like a fucking FPS. It's not like putting, you know, Battlefield 5 on this fucking thing. But I don't know. Hopefully they'll work that out. What else about the online? I had another point I really wanted to make. Oh! Because I didn't know this until yesterday. Because I was watching Zach Pack's video. He did a video talking about the online service. And I'm going to address some more stuff other than the online. But he said, Nintendo recommends, for Smash Brothers, you use a fucking LAN adapter. That is ridiculous. It is 2018, almost 2019. Very few people today have a fucking wired connection. I don't. The only thing in this room wired to the fucking shit is this desktop. And, you know, that's the only thing. My Xbox, my Switch, all that. That's all wireless. My phone, obviously. I've had a wireless connection here for 10 fucking years. Just about. No one is going to run cables across their house to play an online game. I'm sorry. Most people just won't do it. Especially the casuals. They're not going to do that. So I think that was a ridiculous statement to make. And it's like, again, I understand that this is their first real attempt in online, but it's 2018. Xbox Live has been out since what? 2003? 2004? PSN has been out since what? 2006? I mean, it's ridiculous that, you know, their competition is at online fully functional for over a decade, and they can't seem to get it. I remember reading something during the Wii U also. I think it was during the Wii U's lifespan. Because we got Mario Party 10, and guess what? It doesn't have fucking online. Not in the way we want it. And they said they're still behind the I guess, idea that games are meant to be played with buddies at your house on your couch in front of a TV. I'm sorry, Nintendo. That doesn't fucking happen today. I don't have people come over and say, hey man, you want to play Mario Party? Hey dude, you want to play Mario Kart? It doesn't happen. It only happened back in the 90s and the 80s because online wasn't a thing, really. It's just ridiculous that they are still behind that notion, and I can't believe they're still sticking to it. Nintendo is so out of touch with the current market. But, I don't know. So that's my thoughts on the online. Let's move on to some of the other issues I have, mainly with Nintendo, but I want to make one point about the Switch that is a huge problem, and I can't believe it's, as far as I know, still not been addressed. The fucking thing only has 32 gigabytes of storage. Pretty much makes SD card mandatory on day one. So you have a $300 system that you then make people pay to get a fucking SD card. And you're going to need a big one. I mean, I'm going to recommend like a 128 gig. Those are not exactly cheap by any means. I don't have one currently because I just finally picked up a game that requires a download. But it is ridiculous. And as far as I know, none of the bundles that come out have a larger storage capacity. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. And as far as I know, that Nintendo Switch does not support external hard drives either, so guess you're boned on that. But that's a problem. But that's really my only physical complaint with the Switch itself. Let's go back to talking about Nintendo. I saw an article recently, a couple weeks ago, that Nintendo is sticking with the 3DS for at least for the future. You know, at least for the next year or two, I'm sure. Why? A, you're essentially competing against yourself. I mean, I can't speak for all Switch users, but I can speak for myself and a couple people that I know. I play my Switch 90% of the time in the handheld mode. I mean, that's what I play it as. I use it as a handheld. The only time it's in its dock is to charge or if I'm streaming. Other than that, I play it in handheld mode. Which I feel like a lot more people do than they think. So they're basically competing with themselves. And two, I believe next year is going to mark 8 years of the 3DS. 8 fucking years. That's a long time. I mean, the DS only lasted, I think, 7. Pretty sure. So we're already past how long that lasted. And, you know, yes, and don't take this as saying I hate the 3DS, I want it to die. I love the 3DS. But they need to stop putting big projects and money onto this platform. Put them on the Switch. And the one that made me mad, and the one that made me want to talk about this at all, was Luigi's Mansion. I didn't even know this was getting a remake, but I was at work, and I saw it come out on the 3DS. 4 years ago, that would have been fine. Not now. And here's why. First of all, why would you take a game that was made on a console with a controller, it has 2 thumbsticks, and throw it on the 3DS where it has a circle pad? And from the people I hear that have played it, say it doesn't control very well. Well, no shit. So you port it to a system with less control options. You downgrade the graphics. And for what? And here's my reason why. You have a new Luigi's Mansion game coming out next year on the Switch. Why wouldn't you put this one on there to kind of hype it up? I would have bought the Switch version on day one. Even if it was $60, I would have bought that game. You know how much interest I have in getting the remake on the 3DS? About zero. That's going to be one of those games that, unless it gets under like $15, I really don't care. And I was reading this article about Nintendo talking about why they're sticking with it, and because, it's affordable and all that. I get it to a degree, but 3DS, it's ran its cycle. Come on. The Switch is doing amazing. I just saw yesterday, the Switch has officially passed the GameCube in sales in just over a year. Like a year and a half. It's already outsold 2 of Nintendo's platforms. You need to put all the big projects and money onto the Switch. I'm sorry, but you do. Let the 3DS, if third-party companies want to do 3DS stuff, and people like NIS America or Limited Run, people like that, if they want to work on 3DS titles, then go for it. But you need to stop putting big first-party projects. Hell, even Game Freak already said Pokemon on 3DS is done. Done. And they said what everyone's thinking. The system has been pushed to its limits. There isn't much else to do. So, I don't know. That just angers me that they're still fully funding this thing, and you have a handheld already. You have a brand new handheld. Put all the big titles on it. But that's some of my thoughts. Some of the things that angers me. And, like I said, don't take this as I hate the Switch and I hate Nintendo, because that's not the case at all. I fucking love the Switch. But these are things that need to be addressed, and I'm not afraid to say that they need to be. With that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts, and I will see you all later.